Political face-off erupts after the Amar Jawan Jyoti at Delhi's India Gate will be doused and merged with the flame at the adjoining National War Memorial. Rahul Gandhi, breathing fire on the centre, said that it is sad that the eternal flame is being doused. He went on to say that some can't understand the sacrifice of braves. Congress also said that extinguishing the flame is equivalent to extinguishing history. The centre has hit back. The government has said the eternal flame is not being doused and only being merged with the one at the National War Memorial, which has names of all the braves who sacrificed their lives. Government sources have also slammed the Congress for spreading misinformation and doing politics over the brave hearts.
Silence. Billion prayers.
So what is happening is an attempt to rewrite history. The Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, the President of India, should intervene in order to ensure that the Amar Jawan Jyoti is not extinguished.
हर इतिहास के साथ मोदी जी को जोड़ दिया जाए, उसी दिशा में एक और कदम उठाया जा रहा है। पहले पार्लियामेंट बनाने का काम हो, प्रधानमंत्री आवास हो, कि मोदी जी स्वयं कहते हैं कि हेरिटेज को मेंटेन करना चाहिए। अमर ज्योत जवान एक हेरिटेज है, उसे ना हटाए, नए और कई मेमोरियल उन्हें बनाना है बनाए, लेकिन इतिहास मिटाने का खेल जो शुरू है वो ठीक नहीं।
Rajniti should not be done over issues of Rashtra-niti, and playing politics over such an issue only shows the true nature of the Congress. Falsehood that this is being extinguished is not true, it's being merged. Secondly, it was a temporary structure that had been made. If you see the Amar Jawan Jyoti, it pays homage to the martyrs of 71 war and some other wars, but their names are not inscribed or present there. So that's a little odd, and therefore all the names of all our fallen braves of all the wars of India have been inscribed at the National War Memorial. A true tribute to all our braves is being given to National War Memorial. Which, the Congress Party should be the last one preaching today and should be the last one playing politics or Rajniti over an issue of Rashtra-niti.
Our executive editor Gaurav Sawant is getting us more on that story. Gaurav, in fact, from the army personnel that we've been speaking to, and all of them are of the opinion that there is much ado about nothing and there is unnecessary politics over this.
So, India is a democracy, and it's always good to have a very vibrant opposition, raising issues. But what is the issue here? Amar Jawan was a structure that was constructed after the 1971 war, spectacular victory in which Pakistan was split into two, Bangladesh was born. But who were the braves who fought? We don't know their names. India Gate is a memorial that was built by the British to commemorate those who made the supreme sacrifice of their lives in the First World War and the Anglo-Afghan War. What is the National War Memorial? The National War Memorial, or the Rashtriya Samar Smarak, has names of every Indian brave who's made the supreme sacrifice of his life for our country in independent India, whether it's the wars in 1947-48, 62, 65, 71, Operation Meghdoot, or Pawan, Kargil War, and counter-terror operations. So every name is mentioned at the Rashtriya Samar Smarak. When we pay homage, do we pay homage only to the 71 war heroes, or do we pay homage to every Indian brave who has kept India first? I also have India Today's Abhishek Bhallar, editor Defense, joining me for more on the story. And Abhishek, tell us the thinking behind this. Some say it's being extinguished, some say it's being merged. What's the thinking behind Amar Jawan, the flame, the eternal flame, moving from the Amar Jawan to the National War Memorial?
Well, Gaurav, the wordplay, whether it's doused, extinguished, or just being merged, can continue. The political bickering can continue, but the fact is that the Amar Jawan Jyoti will not be present in its location underneath India Gate, and it will be moved to the National War Memorial. Now, there are a lot of divided voices within the military community, be it veterans or serving personnel. There's been a lot of debate even amongst civilians on social media whether this is the right thing to do or not. Well, the thinking is very clear as far as the government is concerned, that The National War Memorial is one-stop place which salutes, commemorates all fallen soldiers of independent India. And that's why it would only be appropriate to have one Amar Jawan Jyoti at that location. But here is another point of view, Gaurav, that for last 3 years, two flames coexisted. One at the National War Memorial. The National War Memorial replaced India Gate for all ceremonials. Dignitaries coming to India paid homage at the National War Memorial. But at the same time, the inverted bayonet and the helmet, along with those eternal flames, continued to be there at India Gate. So now that's set to change. Also, the fact that 3 years back, when the National War Memorial was inaugurated, top military officers on record said that, Amar Jawan Jyoti is an inseparable part of history, and it can coexist and it will coexist with the flame at National War Memorial. What changed in these 3 years is something that the government needs to clarify on.
So what is it? What is it that you are hearing from the Ministry of Defence? What changed? What changed, Abhishek, to bring about this change? And Abhishek, since you, Shiv, and I, Sandeep Punnithan, our entire team has been covering the National War Memorial and the quest for a National War Memorial for a very, very long time, is it a bit rich that those who actually stalled the construction of the National War Memorial are perhaps now crying the loudest?
There is no doubt that the National War Memorial is a beautiful monument, and it celebrates, the sacrifices that have been made. And I'm using the word celebrate, Gaurav. Many might not like it, but it's a celebration of sacrifice, and there is nothing wrong in that. If you ask me personally, it has a rich history of the Indian military, and there is a lot to the Indian military post-independence. Having said that, there is a lot of rich history of the Indian military that is associated with colonial India as well. And the two have coexisted all these years. And in fact, for a lot of regiments, their British Indian history is a part of legacy. Those stories, those tales are the stuff that legends are made of. It inspires several other generations. So now that's the dilemma, if one can say, of Indian military history. It has a lot of British colonial India, and at the same time, the tales of valor.
That is also something that we need to look at. Why should regiments of the Indian Army celebrate? You're absolutely right. Should regiments celebrate the action that the British Indian Army took against the freedom fighters? Should they celebrate those who were killing Indian freedom fighters and celebrate names of those who did so? We will talk about that in perhaps another debate in times ahead. But I also want to bring in India Today's Mohit Sharma joining us for more on the story. Mohit, this step, merging the eternal flame at Amar Jawan with the National War Memorial, has sparked off a political war of sorts. Bring us details, Mohit.
Amar Jawan Jyoti, it's about 50 meters from here where the Amar Jawan Jyoti stands as of now, and the whole idea of the government is that there should not be two eternal flames, because ultimately, this is to commemorate and at the same time, feel proud of the kind of sacrifice that have been made by our martyrs, and the entire country is proud of them, and hence that was the significance that the Amar Jawan Jyoti really held. Over the past 50 years, the place, or rather the land where the Amar Jawan Jyoti has been right underneath the India Gate, and that is where went on and explained that you can use any words right now to.
Give me a moment, Mohit, as I reestablish our link with you. I want to cut across to India Today's Sneha Mordani, who joins us for more on the story. So, Sneha, one is history. India Gate, of course, an integral part, considering, ever since 1971 war, ever since Amar Jawan was established for Republic Day 1972, the nation has paid homage to our braves. But are we moving away from just paying homage to heroes of one war to every warrior who's made the supreme sacrifice of his or her life for India since independence till date, Sneha.
Yes, absolutely, Gaurav. And this move really by the government says there is no dousing of the fire, it's only merging the flame essentially, has seen bickering between the BJP and the Congress. The Congress has lashed out at the central government. Let's take a look at what the arguments really are. Amar Jawan Jyoti face-off arguments by the centre and the government. Now, sources say opposition is, of course, says it's sad that the eternal flame is being doused. The government says the eternal flame is not being doused, it is only being merged. The opposition says some can't understand the sacrifice of braves. The government says the National War Memorial has names of all the braves there, so where is the controversy? The opposition says this is extinguishing the flame and it is same as extinguishing history. History is being rewritten. The government says true homage only at the National War Memorial. Opposition is asking why can't India have two eternal flames? That is the question also that is being asked. Government says the Congress ignored martyrs. Now they are doing politics over this matter.
The government is trying to extinguish the Amar Jawan that was built after the 1971 war, and the Congress may not be saying it in as many words, but the fact is Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister in 1971. She paid homage at Amar Jawan in 1972. That is how a tradition started, and now it moves to the National War Memorial constructed on the instructions of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. I have former Army Commander, Northern Command, General Huda joining me on the broadcast. General Huda, your appreciation of this move and the politics around it, sir.
So, Gaurav, I don't want to get into the politics around it. But, the fact is that all our ceremonies are now being held at the National War Memorial. So I think it's also appropriate, that the flames be merged at one place, because you could also have criticism that you have the eternal flame at the India Gate, but no official ceremonies are being held there. And now that the National War Memorial has got constructed and sort of has primacy, so I'm not trying to sort of devalue India Gate, and it's an iconic structure. It has the names of World War I and the Afghan war soldiers, and they need to be respected as much. But now that the new war memorial has come up, I think it's appropriate that we have ceremonies at that place.
Sir, as a soldier, as a gallant soldier, you've served our motherland for more than 4 decades. Do you see India Gate or Amar Jawan being slighted in case this flame is merged and taken to the National War Memorial?
No, I don't see any like this. As I said, you see all the functions now, all the wreath-laying ceremonies by the service chiefs, by political leadership, is happening now at the National War Memorial. So I don't think we should make too much of it, frankly.
General, you've always kept India first, and what you say actually makes sense. You're saying there shouldn't be any politics on this subject. It does not take away from the sacrifice of those who made the supreme sacrifice of their lives in perhaps the greatest victory that India has had in the 1971 war, splitting Pakistan into two, and the birth of Bangladesh. Their names are mentioned at the National War Memorial, sir?
Yeah, they're mentioned. So all names of post-independence martyrs are mentioned there. So I don't think there is any slight to anyone. Either to, is there a difference in the valor of soldiers who died before independence or after independence? I mean, soldiers just do their work, they do their job. So, as I said, I think it would be better if we don't make too much of it.
Okay. So, General Huda, I will let that be the last word, considering it comes from Army Commander, Northern Command, someone who was instrumental in our surgical strikes, in our counter-terror operations. And Abhishek, you heard General D.S. Huda, former Army Commander, Northern Command, very clear that it's only natural. It's a natural progression that The National War Memorial has names of every Indian brave who's made the supreme sacrifice in every war, in every counter-terror operation since independence till date. That is where all the official ceremonies are held. So it's only natural that the eternal frame moves from Amar Jawan to the National War Memorial. Abhishek Bhalla, many thanks for joining me. Sneha, this is what the soldiers think. But in a democracy, and a vibrant democracy as ours, politics continues and must remain.
Gaurav, thanks for getting us up to speed. With that, I'm thanking Abhishek and Mohit also for their inputs and their perspective on that story. Meanwhile, we're shifting focus to some news that's coming in.